Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So that is, we'll go with the project, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like in a Angular, we have a, just I'll give a overview here. We have a forms module that is to work on the template driven forms. It will be like a template driven forms. And we have another type of a forms, which is reactive forms module. Reactive forms. So reactive forms will be whenever you have a huge form, that is where you want to go with the dynamic forms, or you want to go with mm, uh, basically when you have a huge data and you want to design the big forms, like not with only a simple forms, like where you have a big form. So where we will go with the for reactive forms, like just show, I'll show you. So there is a one website which is called StatPress. So there it will be already applications have it. Like let me just take dynamic reactive forms Angular 7. So like where it's just loading sometime. Okay. Yeah. So where you want to have it, like where we will be going with some online booking system or something, where depends on your selection. Like if you have selected number of tickets is 2 or number of tickets is 10, according to that, that many forms should be dynamically created for me. Like here you have a number of tickets. When I go here and select it, the number of tickets I wanted. Like I'll just give it here 4. Still it is loading, I guess. Yeah, it's loading. It's taking so much time. Okay. See, when I selected here 3, previously we were not having any text boxes and all. But now as we selected 3, for the 3 we are getting the extra forms. Where if depends on my ticket number selection, so I want to get the that many number of ticket details should be entered. So where you have a dynamic requirement or the huge forms you want to design it, then we will go with the reactive forms. This cannot be done in the template driven forms. So when you are going with the any big forms, like where you want to have a dynamic nature of a your form or dynamic drop down, so for all these requirements we will be going with the reactive forms. Or if you have a forms which is very simple, like sorry, dynamic forms and all. In that requirement, we go with the reactive forms. Why it is reactive forms means here we have a different classes which is called form control, and we have a form group. All the validations and all will be taken care in the component TS. Only HTML part we will be writing inside of the HTML, and all the validations, everything will be taken inside of the component TS. So it is easy to maintain it. But forms module, your validation and your NG model, the mapping, everything will be taken care with respect to the HTML itself. In the TS, we don't write much code. So that is what template driven forms. Template driven forms will be a forms module. We'll use it for a simple forms where you have a huge forms where the all data should be taken care in the component is like I just given one example for the dynamic forms. We'll go with the reactive forms where you want to register the control in the template, or you want to go with any big kind of a forms like dynamic, or it may be some other requirement where you have a multiple components or multiple data should be mentioned it as a one component here. So for all these requirements we will be go with the reactive forms. That's where the two different type of forms modules available. Your requirement is simple, go with the forms module. Your requirement is big, like huge form should be developed, or you have a dynamic nature and all. Reactive forms provides basically model driven approach. It provides the model driven approach to handling the form inputs whose values over change time. So it's keep on changing, or you want to handle it at the dynamic data, then go with the reactive forms, or it's you can for the simple requirement go with the forms module. That's what the here difference of the forms module and the reactive uh, forms. Okay, so where guess before discussing anything, first let us just create a new project so that will help to work on a project, because it will take some time to create a project, right?
Yeah.
So ng new, e-commerce application. So I'm just keeping for a project creation, ng new e-commerce app. So yes, I want a routing. So we can add a routing, and we want the style as CSS. So I've just taken CSS. Okay, let it do the generating of a code. Okay, so here we just discussed about the simple forms module, right? So then when I come back to this particular project here, where first we have to design this page. We have to design this page. First, we'll hard code some data and take it. Afterwards, we can configure it with the backend also, or directly we can configure it with the backend and can be done also. Already backend code I uploaded to the L&D cloud for the, I guess day 7 I got uploaded. Yeah. So here backend code is already uploaded. You can download it from here. It's our two JS files. You can keep it in your project location itself.
Okay.
It should be part of your front end project only. It's having a
Okay.
JSON server.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah. So once the project got created, so we have to just install some dependencies here. So that is, we will go with the Bootstrap. So for Bootstrap, I already told you, we'll go with npm install Bootstrap. Give me 1 second. Hello. Yeah. So npm Bootstrap, which is 4.3.1, and we'll use some icons here. So that is Font Awesome also will be installed. npm install Font Awesome at 4.7.0, and then we require a JSON server, that is to the code is actually the JSON server code, the backend. So for that I'm using npm-save. So npm install, we can save it to our dependencies. So -save, we want it only for a development mode, save dev. This will add it to your dev dependencies, because for production we may not require. So JSON server. And to taking care of authentication and authorization, we are going with the JSON web token. So for that, again npm install, save, which is dev, JSON web token at 8.1.1. So this, all the dependencies we have to add it to our project. Okay, so that is this, for the styling, this is for the icons, this is for the fake backend which we are created with the JSON, and this is to add the JSON web token. So JWT is basically a good way to go with a authentication for your any application. Like, let me just go here, JWT. That's the official website of JWT. So JWT will have the security will be good with the JWT token, because here when you just go to JWT debugger, whenever you try to log in, it will give one JWT token,
Hi,
which will
Sweta, I'm
be,
back.
yeah, hi,
Sorry.
Krish. Yeah, it's okay. Is it done? Your meeting is completed?
Completed. Done.
Okay. Now, we were just created only one project, new project, to make it as this kind of application. I already uploaded the backend, simple fake backend here. That is at the session 7. Okay, you can download that.
Okay. Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, and just we kept for the project creation.
Okay. Sure. I'll do
So like here, when you go with the security, so we are using JWT tokens. So if you see the any token, this much big token will be generated, and the first part of the token is header part, which contains a what is the type of algorithm you are using and what is the type. It's a JWT, and you have a HS256 or you want SHA-256. When you just change it your algorithm type itself, you will be getting the different encoded value. Okay, so whatever your values will be based on this algorithm, you will be getting this first encoded format. Then dot, the second one is a purple one, which is taking, which is your payload. What is the request body you are sending? Like this is the request body, and this is a IET, which is a one payload. If you just change it any one value of a payload, you can see this purple color code is changing. Okay, so that uh, encoding will be happening here, which is for the requested data. And you have a third part as a signature, which will be what is the algorithm, which is MAC SHA-256 and base URL encoded format, and your uh, secret base code, which is encoded. The combination of all these three will becomes a one JWT token. So we want to authenticate every time to work on our application. Like whenever you do the admin, so you if you pass the name and the secret, that is my password I have hard coded, admin is a username and secret is a password. When I just do the login, so it will generate the backend one JWT and it will be checked in our backend code. Like this is our auth middle JS. So here we have some my app secret, and the JWT sign will be taken, and the backend will taken care of the JWT app secret, all the code verification. Okay, So this is my simple backend, which is fake backend, which is available. So that is a security one which we are taking here. For that, we are using a JSON Web Token, which is npm install of -c dep JSON Web Token 8.1. So this all the dependencies we have to add it to our project once the project got created. Okay, still project is installing a packages. Yeah, it will take some time. So after that, once the project got created, so we always go with the what happened? Not able to click anything. Okay, it's hang. Okay, so that is where we want to go with. What happened today? Sorry. Yeah. So where we want to go with the our project, so we can go with a model way of approach, that is a module multi module approach. For the project development, we can go with a multi-module approach. So that is, you have here, when you see it as my application, we have a different module. One module is a admin module, and another module is a store module. Like what we will do it in the project, like in the SRC, we will create a different modules. So that is, we will create a one module which is called model, where we can keep all our model classes. Model classes means which have only the what type of data you want to accept it. So in the model class, we will keep all our models, and where if you want to go with some static data sources, or if you want to have a REST data source, all these data sources and the model classes will be writing in the model package or model folder. So after that, like we want to go with a class which is called another module we wanted. So we want another module which is called store module. So the store module will be contains all the components or directive, all the building blocks required for store. And then we will go with admin module. So in the admin module, so we will be writing all the building blocks required for admin functionalities. All the store functionality will be one module, and admin functionality will be in the admin module. So like this, two different modules we will be creating. And whenever you go with a multi-module approach, like till whatever we discussed till today, we have only one module which is called app module TS. In the app module TS, we were registering all the components. When you go with the multi-module approach in the projects, so in the store, we will be having a store module. All the store related components should be only registered to store module, and that store module will be imported into the app module. And admin module will register all the admin components. So we will be having here the modules, which is store module, and we can have admin module, like how many modules you want to have it for your project, that many modules you can have it. Then what the model which we are creating, we can have it here, model module. So model module also can be present. Model module will be taken care of your that is the backend data or any data, and the model classes. Store module for the store functionalities, admin module for admin functionalities. Then app module, we will be creating the main module, and all these modules we have to include it in this. So if you want to change something to the store, you no need to come to app and do it. So you just remove the store module, want to replace with other module. So that's the module way of approaching we will be doing here. So same multi-module approach we used in our backend application. If you go with Spring or Java application also. Multiple modules will be created. Each module is responsible for one set of functionalities to go with. So in this, we require to work on a store. We require a store module. Like we want first the products to be displayed, so we require a store component. We require a store components. So then we wanted the store HTML, that is to display all your data. So then in the app.ts, so we will be storing the app store. So that is the store component should be only in the store module. It should be registered to that so that we will be taking. And we want different categories to be taken, and based on that category, so we want the different categories to be displayed, so that we will create it in the selected category, so that all we will do it in the store component. So once the store component is completed, then we will be go with the cart module. That is where we want to go with the add to cart. So once the cart module is done, then we will go to the checkout module. Like checkout component, this component we have to do it. So all these are the part of a store module only. So then we will be go with how the admin will be taken care. So all the admin features will be in the admin module. And as I was just explaining, so you can't access it any other parts. Like if I'm trying to access a cart, so now there is if it will be redirected to store page only, because we are taken care of some guards here. Like you want to taken, what is the need of security guards? That is they'll be keep on watching. The same way here, we have some building blocks in the Angular, which is called guards. The guards are responsible to do the watching. So that is, it will allow only the guards which you made it. So that is the guards basically to check or to compare what is the links or the what type of routings to be allowed, what type of routings to be allowed, that will be taken care with the guards. So in the guard, we have one method called can activate and can deactivate it, the methods, so that you can load it what methods. That is, you want to check the route navigation before the component is loaded. So that's what the can activate will be routing. So auth guards, we will taken care of our authentication layer. Basically, the guards will also use to work on the authentication. If it's you're writing for a specific auth guards, then it is for authentication. So then we have a routing guards, that is to which part of the routing should be allowed, which is not allowed. So without login, I should not go with some of the specific guards, so that we're here, we can't use it. So this all will be using inside of one project of this, which we are going to develop it. So let me just check, is the project got created? Yeah. Now project got created. I will just go into the project. So I given it as a e-commerce app, and we have to install all these dependencies. I will share in the chat. You can also install to your project. Yeah. I shared the commands in the chat. You can also install it. Just installing all the libraries. Yeah. So everything got upload installed for my project. So once you have also done, so you can just open the Visual Studio Code. So you can check in the package.json. So in the package.json, so we got now not in the dependencies. Like in the dependencies, we got only Bootstrap and Fondasm, and then we can see it here, the JSON web token and JSON server we given for dev, no, so that's why it is only added to the dev dependencies. Okay, for the development dependencies it's added. So then here we have a scripts, that is you want to run your backend, you have to add a one more script to run it, which is JSON, that later which we will add it. Okay, that backend two files which you have downloaded. So if you unzip it, you will get two files. That two files should be added to your e-commerce application. It will be available here. So later stages we can do that. So now just I'll work on this. So we have here the SRC now. So inside our SRC itself, I'll create a one more folder, which is folder as model. So which will be taken care of all our uh, other works, which is we want to work on the service or we want to work on the data. So for this, first we require one model class, which is I will create one file here, which is I want a product first. So product dot model dot ts. So this is a class, I like this the folder structure I have made it. Inside a SRC, I created one more folder called model. In that I have created a product.model ts. So it is a normal ts class. So how will you write a class? So we have to mandatory use a export keyword if you want to import it anywhere. So export class, the class name which I want to give it as a product. So that's the class name which I have used. What are all the properties I want to use it when the object creation? So I will use a constructor. So inside a constructor, we can pass what are all the parameters you wanted. Like I'm taking here public, which is ID. I want all the fields are optional. So question marks are passing ID, which is a type of number. Is it your modules adding is completed?
It's going on for me.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I will just write this and hold for some time. So category. I'm just making all fields are optional. Just string and then I want the price. So constructor just written is.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Once you have done with all the modules and completed with the product, let me know.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay, let him finishes. Within that, we'll just discuss some more things. Yeah, okay. So we have one more decorator with respect to uh, Angular, which is injectable. What is this injectable decorator? Injectable decorator, it marks a class as available to be provided and injected as a dependency. Basically, injectable, we will use it for the service classes. That is, who will provide the data for us. The data providers, we will use it as a injectable. So in the injectable, we will be having the option which is like inside of injectable, will be having a provided in. What is this provided in will be there? So here you will not have any selector because it is not a component, it's not a directive, it is not a pipe, it's a injectable. Injectable will use it for a data providers or for the services. So where it will have one value which is called provided in, it will determine which injector will be provides the injectable. That is, it will be seen the ng module or the injector type by specifying what injectable should be. By default, it will be having some thing called root. If it is a root, it will be application level injector in most app. It will be the application level injector. And it's optional if you can make it or not also. Or instead of a root, we can have it something called platform. So for this platform, it is a special singleton platform injector shared by all the applications on that page. So that is, you want to make it any special or singleton platform injector, then we'll go it as a platform. On the page, or we can have a name called any. So that is, you can go with the any. So it provides the unique instance. It provides the unique instance of an injectable in each lazy loaded modules. Lazy loaded module, while eagerly loaded module shared one instance. So a lazy loaded module. Share one instance. So basically, when you go here with the injectable, so either you are going with multi-module or single module, so it's okay. So injectable will be used to write your service code, that is to get the data from the backend or maybe hard-coded value. So, or to keep a data, all these things you will use a injectable decorator for the data providers. In the injectable, you will have an option which is called provided in, and it will be determines what is the name of it you are using. Based on that, your Angular compiler or IVI engine can be understood what it is. Like if you want to do the for the entire application, you have only one injectable, you want to do it with the application level injector, then it is a root. If it's a platform, like it will become a singleton platform injector, so it will be only one injectable you are creating. And any means, like when you go with a multi-module, why will go with a multi-module? If all the components, like you have some 20 components or some 80 components or 1000 components for your project, so all the components will be loaded when the app module loads. So but app module is the first module, right? So that it will be eagerly loading. But I want to mention it in the app module or in the routing module. The child module should be loaded later. Lazy loading should be done. So the performance will be good. So for that, we can configure the in the app module. So which routing should be, which child should be lazy loaded. So based on that, we can go with the any. If you have lazy loading is enabled, you can go with any or platform or the root. So there's all the different types of provided in can be mentioned here. So this application level and for the singleton and for the any. So all this type of provided in can be mentioned, or if you don't want any type, we can give it as a null also. So that's where you will create the injectable. Whenever you have any injectable, so it should be like if you go to any app module which have a ng module decorator. In the app module, what in the ng module decorator, what are all the things will be there, guys? In the ng module, we have declarations, imports,
Import,
provider,
providers, bootstrap.
providers, then you will have a bootstrap. So where declarations will be taken care of all your user defined components. Imports will be with predefined or the library modules. The providers will be taken all type of injectables. Injectable should be registered in the providers. Then bootstrap, that is to load your component, right? So that's what the ng module will be writing. So if you have multiple providers, like in the each module, if you have a provider, you just registered that to the providers, all type of injectable, and you can go with the guards also. The guards also can be mentioned here to the providers. So this we will be configuring with respect to the providers. So Prashant, is it completed with all the modules?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So this code is also completed. If you want, I can just
Kind
share
of
it in the.
last line, yeah, I can add. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. I've just created another folder in the SRC model in that product model TS. See, yesterday and all, we were generating a components by using NGG, right? So if you want to generate the components in the specific folder, you have to go to that folder, and in that folder only you have to run a commands. Like, let me just open the new terminal. Now I want to create one TS, which is to have some data, which is first I will create it as a static data source. So like I want a, or you can create a class and write the code also, or you can generate it. Let me just only write now. In the model, we'll create another file. I will make it as static data source .ts. So I want to make it as a injectable. So first, like, let me just create a export class static data source injectable should be imported. from Angular code. So we just imported the injectable. Then I want the product data also. So can import the product, or let me just take it here. I want to create some hard-coded data now. Products, which is a type of product array. It is in the same folder, so dot is enough. Dot product dot model. So that I just created here product, and I have to give some products here. So instead of just creating a product and spending some time, I already created the products. Let me give it to you. I just created some products. I didn't change a name also. Some names I'm using same. So I just shared the code in the chat. You can take it the products. Then we want to give this product. So how this products will be sent? So that is we will use a get products. The get products method we are writing here, and it will be written from this dot products, all the products which I am returning. So whenever you are returning the products by using here, which is with injectable, and whenever you call this method, this should be written the data with the observable, because when you go with the HTTP method, so it is working with respect to a REST API, right? So whenever you work with the REST, sorry, where I have right here. So with the REST API, so we will be having the methods which is get, post, and put, and delete. So where get method, which is to get the data, to post the data, that is, this is to basically to retrieve the data, and this is to insert the data or add the data, this to update the data, this is to delete the data in the any REST API, either with Java or .NET or with Angular, any code. So where all these methods are available in HTTP. So here, whenever the HTTP get, post, put, delete, any methods which you are accessing, this method will be written, the type is called observable. The get, post, put, delete, all the methods will be written the type called observable. So for that we will make the get product should be a type of observable. So we will use it here, observable, which is a product array. After this, we just have to import this observable and from. I'll just come back to this. Yeah. First, I will import it. Import from. We have all this methods available in the package, which is called RxJS. observable, and we have used from. This both are from the RxJS library itself. Okay. So why it is observable, or what it is the observable for the services? So where when you go with any HTTP service you are working on, all the HTTP service method, we will be returning the type of observable itself. So that observable will be it will be based on the PubSub module. First data will be observed, then you have to subscribe the data to get it. Without subscribe, that is observable basically to do the asynchronous pattern. Observable is an asynchronous pattern. We have the observable as an observer. It observe and then we have to subscribe it. In many implementation, observer is also called a subscriber. Observable as an observer, it is a type of a subscriber. We can call it as a subscriber. It's based on the PubSub module. An observer can have many observers or many subscribers. Okay, when you observe the data, you have to subscribe it in the components. So observable, it emits the item or over time to which an observer, like if you are subscribing, then only you will be able to get the data, else we cannot. So within this we can have a callback functions to handle the data times or notifications to receive from an observable. So that's what here how we will be going with the observable with the data. So are you clear with this, what the class we have written till now?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that which model you are talking for observable? What is
PubSub
that?
model. PubSub module. Publish subscribe module.
Publish and subscribe. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So that it is returning a products here now. So is it completed?
Yeah, I'm done.
Prashant, done?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. So that now we want to create the a repository class, that is to access this data or to give the data to the components. So for that, like as I said, either you can create a class and do the job, or you can generate it also. So that is, you if you want to generate it, so first you have to go inside of the SRC, and then in that we have a model. Else it will always create a inside a SRC. We don't want it inside SRC. So I'm going to the model. Inside of that, if you want to generate the injectable, we will use S, which is service, NGGS. NGGS, and I will give the name as product service. NGGS product service. If you give only product, it is more than enough. Because it is a service, it will become with product service TS. You can see now the product service class service TS and the spec file got generated in that. Okay, the service is created here. Now we want to work on the product service. You can see whenever we generate it, it's have a injectable from Angular core. The same way what we have written manually here. It is created an injectable, and it's have an optional which is called provided in the provided in, again this is optional, it is not mandatory here. And we have a product service which have a constructor. So I don't want any constructor to be used, so I will just remove the construct or let it be present. So that I want to get the data, so first I will create some variables which is private. I want some products which is a product array, which is a empty array I want to create it. So I've just created. So let me just import the product. So we require another type of data, which is category. So because based on the category, I want to filter the products. So for that, I will create categories, which is any type of a string array. It will also empty array. Just created two variables inside a product service now. So which is the products and the categories. So then I want to access the data from the static data source. If you see, we have a product ID, product name, and a category. So I want to get the categories as a one array. An entire product should be in the product array. So to access it, we require a data source. I will take it here. Data source. What is the class we have it to work on a data source, which is static data source. What is the class name here you have used? The same class name you have to use it, and you have to import it. So we got the static data source. Inside the constructor, I want to get the data, all the product data to the products and stored in the products. So how I will be able to write it? So that is data source object what we have created dot, it have a method called get product. So what is the method which I have it here to get the products, which is a get products. That method we have written. But as it is a observer, it is observe the data. Now you have to subscribe it. You want to subscribe it. Whenever you do subscription, you can store it into some, this data will be given to some variable. You can write any name, it's your wish. Then the ES6 arrow functions will be using here. So we are writing arrow functions. It is written in the success message. If it's written the success message, that I will store it into the products. This dot products equals data. Whatever the data we are getting, that we are getting into storing into the products. So then what I want to get the categories. So what is the categories? Category is a one variable which is there in the product itself. I want to get only products based on the category. Why I want to get it? Just have a look here. So depends on what category I'm clicking, I'm getting the products which are based on for that particular category, right? So for this, I want to filter the items based on the categories. So inside of this, what we are writing, we'll use this dot categories. And how will you get it? The all data is available in the data. In that, I want to get only categories. So we have a stream function which is called map. That is to, if you have a array, okay, if you have a array kind of a data, in that if you want to get only one particular column, then we will use the method called map. In that map, we will mention what column we wanted, which is p dot, what is the name I have used here, category. The same name should be kept it here, p dot category. It will be a data as an array of products. It will be a one instance of a product, p and arrow functions p dot category. Now in the total array, it will only get products. But in that products, I want to filter it. I want to filter the data, which is what I want to filter it. So based on the category, see, and based on the index, I want to store it in a one array. So that's what I have written for the filter. And let me just write a arrow function. I want to get based on the index. So array dot index of method. In the index of, we are checking the category as the category and is equal to index. Then I want to sort the products according to the list. So sorting the categories, that's what we just get the complete products array. In that we want to get only category, for that we have used the map. So when you have a array, in that only one particular data you want to get it, one column you want to get it, will use the map method. So it will get category. In the category we are filtering, so categories of a array, and then we are getting of, sorry, I have written a spelling mistake. Yeah, index of method. In the index of method, see of it, if the index is equal to the what index we are passing, then it should do the sorting. So we are getting how many number of categories are there, and sorted categories and stored into the variable called categories. Now this will get all the categories and the products and storing into the variables. So that is what we have done it here. Now are you complete? Are you clear with this method, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I want to get all the products. I can go with the method which is get products. Based on the category, I will give a category here. If I'm giving a null, I'm initializing with the null, then it will be written a products, or it will return a product array. It should return the this dot products, and I want to filter based on the category. Which category I will be getting? See, this method will give all the products, but this method will be whatever a category you are inputting, based on that it should be given. So that's what we are getting here. This dot products dot filter method. Whatever products we have it. If category is equal to null, we can use our triple equals, because it recommends to go with triple equals in the Angular, means from the TypeScript. Or what is the category you have given? Category is equal to the p dot category. What type of category? If you're not sending any category, just see here. Whenever I load a page, I want to get all the products irrespective of category in the home. Like you can have a pagination is coming, so it's have a number of products. But when you go to category, it will take a input as a that category name, and only for that category details will be displayed. Yes, that's true. So only that particular category data will be printing here. So based on what is the category I'm sending, it should return only that particular product. So that's why we are taking, by default we are sending null. If it is a null, it will get the whole products. Or if you send a category, only based on that category, that product should be filtered. So that is what here we have written the get product method here. I'll get a get products.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Are you clear with this?
Yes.
Okay. So then I want to get only one product. If I pass the ID, so that is get product. I will pass it here now ID, which will return the product. Written this dot products dot find method, that is to get only one object p, arrow function p dot id should be matching with the what is the id you are passing. It will only return a one product. So get product, which is id. If you're passing id, so that particular product should be getting inside of this array. The products is a array. Inside of this, for the array, we are sending a find method to get only one object. So then we want to get a categories list should be displayed. So we can take it, get categories, which will return a string of array, which will return this dot categories. So this method, the constructor will get the whole data, and then get products will get the products based on the category, and get product method will be getting product by id, and this will return the whole list of categories. That is what my product service.cs is present now. So it is a different module. So now I want to create a module. Once you have completed with this, let me know. So we'll create a module class.
I'm done.
Okay. Shri, your voice is breaking.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay. So either you can generate a module, or again you can create your module. That is all the things which is there in the model. So for the model, we are going with multi-module project. We will create a new module. So let me just create a new file. So I'll make this as a model module ts. I want to import all this classes here. Let me just go to service ts. So model module should be a class which contains a ng module decorator. Export. Model module. So it should be a ng module. So module class will be having the decorator, which is called ng module. So inside the ng module, so we have it here, imports, exports, imports, declarations, and the providers and bootstrap. But I don't need to use a bootstrap here, because we are not going with the, this is not a main module to have a bootstrap. So that's why just only I want one, which is providers. In the providers, I can register all my classes. So we wanted the product, what is the name we have created? Product repository and static data source. This is the two modules I have to give it for this providers, and there is no component, so no need to register anything. Sorry, it is what product service. One second, I have to connect laptop charging. Okay. So that first I have to import all these classes which we have taken. First ng module should be imported. Import. It is not inside SRC, no, that's why it is not like it is not inside the app. That's what it is not showing any IntelliSense. ng module got imported. Static data source. Then I want here it should be product service. So that's what we have created here, the class which is the serve module. So this is the module ng module class to take in care of all the components, or if you have a services or if you have components, everything should be registered here. Okay, that's what here we created, which is model module TS. So we made it here model module, and this which have a ng module which have a product service and static data source. This is the model which we have created. So where you want to go with one module is done. So now we'll go with another module, which is we'll go with the store module. In the store module, we'll create a different components and we'll be working on it. But whenever you want to go with the store module, so that is I want to make it, it's a separate module. So where for the store module, we will be creating another module which is called store module TS. So where what are all the required components or required things to be registered? So there we have to register. So how will you make that? Let me just done here. Yeah. Are you completed with this?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Are you able to follow me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So now this module is done. It's just giving a data for us. So now we will be just go to the another module. I will just go to app, and in the app, I'll create a new folder which is called store. Inside of a store, I want to do all the components. Okay, store components, everything I should do it. But first I require a module in the store. So let me just go to the new terminal. So take here. I have to go to SRs. Sorry, store. So inside the store, I want a module should be generated. So where you want to write it, like either you can do everything like typing or you can generate it. So nggm, which is for module, I will create it as a store. Nggm store, which created a store module TS under the store. Okay, it's created a okay under store, it's created another store package. Okay, yeah, which is a store module TS. You can see it's imported whenever you are working with the different modules, the multi-module project, it will recommend to go with the imports of common module. So we got here imports common module. Then we have it here, the export. So now inside a store, if you create any component, that component will be registered to this, not to the app component, not to the app module. You can see in the app module, we have to register later what modules you have created. Like we want store module, we want model module, everything should be registered here in the later cases. Now we just created a store module TS and have here declarations, and it's a ng module. Then you want some components to be registered, then later you have to declare it here, which are all the things we wanted. So in this store components, in the store module, I will be using the forms module and I will be using the browser module, so that in the inputs, we have to write it what modules you want to work on. So let me just take it import. We want browser module, which is again from the some library, or I want a Angular forms. Forms module. Then I'll import here forms module. And then I want the data should be taken. So I want the data should be taken. So for that, I want a model module. Model module is available in which place? So which is model. We have to import the model module. Then I want the browser module. So I just use this here. So all these modules we required for this, so that we are importing all the modules here, right? So just created a modules and just done here with the all the importing of modules. So are you completed with this and understood with this? So this is a new module we are creating. And in this, what are all the components we wanted, we should be creating.
Yes.
Now for this module, we require one component which is called store component. So we want to use it the store component. I want the store component should be created. So let me just go to my terminal. So I'm already in the App Store. So NGGC store, which will create a store component. You can see inside of that we got a store component HTML store component, and you can see here where it is updated. You can see it's not updated to app module TS, it is updated to store module TS, because store module is a local module for the store folder. Okay, so this will take care of the complete moduling. So now let us just go to store component TS. I will just use it here, private product service. We just use it here, product service. So then we have to import it here. So that is, I want to get the products. So that is, we can have it the getter methods in the Angular. So that is by using get and space. So then it will be create a one variable called products, and for that it will be have a accessing. So get products. I've given space so that the products will be a variable. It is a getter method for it. Written this dot. So what is the method which I have it? Product service is a object, so which have a method called get products. This method I'm getting here. So now I'm able to get all the list of products data to this particular store component HTML in the get products are getting. So same way I want to get all the categories, so we can use it here. Categories, which a type of string array. You're writing written this dot product service. What is the method I have it in products here? Get categories to get it. So that get categories which I'm using here. I guess I just done the importing wrong. Let me just do that. Model module TS, I just imported wrong here because it is under SRC, no, not under app. SRC model module. File name is small m. Just do the change of importing here, model module. So done with this.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. Same way you just have to import the product service. Once you have completed, let me know.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
done.
Okay. Yeah. So now where we want to go with the component TS. So let me just go to component TS and here. So where you want to display your code, see this is my displaying part. So I want to divide my page into two parts, and whenever you go with the bootstrap, in the bootstrap, So there will be a gridding system like in the Bootstrap. So the grid system will be there. So which is grid system, which will have a 12 cells, or 12 columns. So this total page will be take a 12 cells. I want to divide this categories as a 3 and the remaining 9 cells on the right. So this category, this what I want to divide it. So for a categories, I want to divide it as a 3 cells, and then product, which is 9 cells. Like this, I want to divide it, and categories should be in the left and product should be in the right. So we want to divide our screen into the two sections, the categories and the products. Categories should contain 3 cells or the 3 columns, and product should contain some 9 cells. So how can I do this job? So for this, anyway, we already installed the Bootstrap in our application, so that we can use the class, the div classes which is there in the Bootstrap. So div class, which is container fluid, which is a CSS name, So inside of this, this is a one container fluid, means it will take a one whole page here. This will be a one container. In this container, I want to take a one row. Then in that row, I want 3 columns and 9 columns. That's what my division is. So for this, I will take it here now, div class, which is row. And in this, we want the 3 columns to be taken here. So that is, we have here the div, so the first one, if you see it here, I want this one, right? So now I've divided into 2 rows. This is a first row and this is the second row. So still I've not written a second row. I want to write it as a first row. So the first row should contain here the online store, and it should be a red color. So for this, what we can do it, this row should take a div class of a column, one column only. So we use a call BG danger. BG danger is background danger, means which will take a red color. And the text which will be present in that should be in white color, so text white. This is all the Bootstrap CSS class. We got one column, the column should be BG danger and text white. So then we wanted here the anchor tag, so which is a class. It should be a navigation bar. That's what I will use it here, navbar brand. And then I'm using here online store. Now the first row will be ready. The first row of this is ready. Then I have to take this row now. That is the next row. Like already this first row is completed. Second row we have to do it. Let me just take it. Another div. There's the another row. So here div class will be having a row which is of text white. In that, the text should be come in the white color. So text white, I will take it. Then in this row, if you see, we want this as a 3 and this as a 9. So that's what the first division which we will be taking care here. As for categories, which is how many columns we wanted. So according to that, we have a CSS classes for the Bootstrap, which is called 3, column 3s, and it should be BG info, background info, and padding of 2, which is P2. That's the category. Then the next div class we wanted. So that is div class, which is call9, and it should be with background of success. So bg success and padding of 2. So here I just display only products. So where I want to get how many products are available just to displaying purpose, I'll use it here. Categories. What is a category I have created in the store component? So that is, this is a categories variable. So that categories, I'll take it here. Dot length, just to display how many categories are available. Then we'll just take it here, products dot length. So it will just display the length. So after this, we will just run our project and see is it properly working. Then we will display the code in that. So whenever we want to make store component should be a landing component, so that either you can do it in the any place or in the app component. Yes, in the app component, yes, I will just remove here template URL from the template. I'll make it as a template and we'll inject it here, which is app store. This is to make this component as a landing component. So then I don't want it here. The store component is not part of the module. It is a part of store module TS that should be imported in the app module TS. So here store module should be imported. We have written here the store module. That same thing which we have imported here. So that is the store module as a part of store. So inside the app, it is there here. So whenever you have in the same folder, so you'll just put one dot. I guess I have to write one more because it is inside of another folder. Yeah. So it is inside of application, inside the app, inside of store module, inside that it is a store module. So the store module, we have to import it. What I have done, I've just created here a store component HTML displaying the categories and the products. So then I am adding what is the selector of a store component. This app store I have added into the app component, which is by using the app store. Then I registered in the app module TS, which is a store module. So every module should register here, but no need to register the model module because model module already present in the store module. So that if you import the store module, it will take the model module also.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
So are you clear with this?
Yes.
Yes.
Has it completed or you want me to show anyone?
No, I'm done.
Pressure.
Yeah, done.
No. Okay. We'll just start our application and see is it any working or any errors or something. Okay. ng sir, already one application is running on port number 4200 for me. So I'll just give a different port 4300. Some error with store module. Cannot resolve store module. Cannot find. Okay, maybe I've written some spelling wrong. Oh, not imported a product. How many spelling mistakes I made it? Index. Okay. Okay, one more thing which you want to add it. Like when you go to app module or app component is, we are adding this as a app store, right? So this is not our own it is not a HTML tag, it's our own Angular tag. So whenever you're making your own Angular tags, so when you go with multi-module project, so Angular recommends to import something called schemas, but schemas you have to mention custom element schema. So this should be imported from Angular core. So this you can add it in the app module TS. So after that, please tell me, do you have any errors?
What is the schema used for?
You are using your own Angular tag, right? To allow this
Yeah.
Angular tag.
Okay. Okay.
That in the app module TS, you can use it, custom element schema.
Can you please go to app component.ts? Okay. Yeah, thanks.
That's okay. So is it completed? In the app module, you have to add here the app component and store module should be imported here.
Yes.
Is it you got compiled successfully?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Shri?
No errors. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. So they were in the app component. So we want to get it here. Store component is okay. So we are getting all the products. So we want to go with what particular ID you have selected. That is based on what ID you have selected, that particular product should be coming here. So that we will create one variable here, which is called selected category. So that we will pass it here. This dot selected category. Okay. So then we want like whenever you do the changing of a category, so you have to call one method. So I'm taking here change category. Which is what is a new category you are passing. And it should be an optional field for this. So I've taken here new category. Then we'll use this dot, whatever the selected category will be there, that we are assigning to new category. So for to selecting this two in the category, so we will use it, the code, which is we will write a button in our HTML to go with the Angular. So this we will call to that particular button, that is to take. Like we want the complete data should be displayed like we wanted here, whatever the home and all we have created. So this button I wanted. So first as a home and then all this category. So that I want to render it here. So for this, let me just go now and write it. Eh, what I have done. Then just go to store component HTML and here we will take one button, that is to give it in the categories place. So that is in this, let us just, why for me data is not, are you getting anything here? You have to get a red bar and the categories in the products. Are you getting this portion in your execution? Your output, are you getting output?
No, I have some other issues. Compilation and fix.
Okay. Yeah, what is the issues you have it? Let me just go to the code. Yes. Okay, title is coming, but why App Store is not rendering? App Store registered in the store module TS. Yeah, it is the declarations are store component and we are using model module. Shri, you're getting,
No, not yet.
so you're also getting a blank screen,
Yeah,
but compiled successfully.
yeah, it's not throwing any error.
Okay, I guess somewhere importing is missing. Okay, app component is loaded. There is no problem with app component. So that when it is coming to store module, we imported here the store module. Yes. Okay, we imported model module because the data is accessing here. Store categories. Okay, that component is not yet called. Just to check the error, I'm using your store component. should give some error because same component can't be registered in multiple places. Yeah, it is now giving an error. And caught error JIT Angular compiler is not loaded. Okay. Okay, store component is listed in the declaration of app module and store module. Yeah, now the error is coming. Okay. Let me just remove this. Okay, it is not problem with the multi-module then. Store component is not registering or loading. Okay, yes, I'll check it out what is the error, and tomorrow's session I'll tell you what is the error. I guess maybe somewhere I've written some typo error or something. Okay, so is it okay?
Our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.